Julian Hart wasn't born rich, he was born ambitious. Raised in a rough neighborhood outside Detroit, Julian spent his teenage years devouring books about corporate empires while his single mother worked double shifts as a nurse. By the time he was 25, he'd made his first million flipping distressed properties. By 35, he was a real estate tycoon on the cover of Forbes. But wealth wasn't enough. Julian wanted legacy, permanence, immortality. Enter Cassandra Vale. She was already a star when they met, a platinum-selling pop artist with a voice like velvet and a face the world adored.
My funny Valentine, sweet comic Valentine, you make me smile in my heart. Oh, your looks are laughable.
But she wasn't just beautiful. She was principled, outspoken, grounded in causes bigger than herself. Cassandra used her platform for humanitarian work, mental health advocacy, and women's rights. Their romance was a whirlwind. Tabloids called them Beauty and the Baron. He proposed on the Amalfi Coast. She said yes under fireworks. The wedding was televised. Millions watched as two empires merged into one. To the outside world, they were a perfect fusion of power and heart.
You've got possibilities, little man. But sadly...
And for a while, they were. The early years of their marriage were tender. Julian, despite his ruthlessness in business, doted on Cassandra. He listened to her songs before they released. He flew across continents just to spend a night with her on tour. When she broke down from exhaustion in their 4th year together, it was Julian who canceled his meetings, who held her in a hotel room for days while she cried, and who stayed silent when she admitted she wasn't sure who she was anymore. But time, as always, changed things.
All the little lies you recite just makes all the savage unite. Usually I'm very polite, but I'ma get savage tonight. Even when a dog being nice, every single dog gonna bite. I don't make a sound when I strike. You better just run for your life.
As Cassandra's star rose globally, a best-selling beauty brand, UN partnerships, a Netflix documentary, Julian began to feel eclipsed. He told himself he supported her success, but in quiet moments, resentment festered. He had built empires with brick and blood, yet it was Cassandra whose face was painted across cities, Cassandra whose approval ratings stayed bulletproof. They stopped having dinner together. She was always flying. He was always in meetings. When they did speak, it was often through assistance. Even their anniversary dinners became social media stunts, curated for the cameras, scripted down to the dessert. Julian began to crave attention again. Not from the world, from someone, anyone. A soft voice, a thrill, a touch that wasn't followed by a camera flash. So the affairs began. Quiet ones at first. Models, influencers, interns at galas who were too starstruck to resist a billionaire's attention. He was discreet, practiced. It became a routine, like a habit. One that filled the emptiness with adrenaline and the illusion of control. He told himself Cassandra would never know, that it meant nothing, that she didn't have time for him anyway. But then came Lana Monroe, Cassandra's childhood best friend and closest confidant. Lana had always been a sharp observer of the couple's dynamics. She had seen the tension building. And one fateful night she saw more than she should have. Julian was meeting with a younger woman, someone he'd been seeing on the side. Lana walked in on them in a hotel lobby and their eyes locked. Julian knew then that his secret was no longer his own. The next day, she called. "I know what you've been doing. We both know I have the power to destroy everything." Her voice was calm but deadly. She demanded $5 million to stay silent, threatening to expose Julian's affairs to Cassandra. She would bury him in tabloids, ruin his image, and destroy his marriage. The guilt and fear began to suffocate him. He knew that losing Cassandra, especially over something so trivial as his pride and infidelity, would destroy him. His empire, his image, his reputation, all of it would vanish in an instant. Julian's mind raced, but before he acted, he turned to someone he trusted. Tom Mercer, an old friend from his days building the empire. Tom had always been more cynical, less attached to the high moral standards Julian tried to maintain. He had seen things Julian hadn't, the underworld of corporate corruption, the people who cleaned up messes like this. At a secluded bar, Julian poured out his fear and frustration to Tom. Tom listened without judgment, his eyes darkening as he took in the situation. "You can't let her do this. You've built too much to let one person tear it all down." Tom leaned in, his voice low. "But what you're asking isn't clean. You're talking about erasing a problem. That comes with risks. You sure you're willing to go this far?" Julian hesitated, but only for a moment. He knew what needed to be done. "I want her gone, Tom. I want her gone quietly, forever. No mess, no drama." Tom nodded, sizing Julian up. "All right. I know someone, but be warned, this isn't going to be neat. There's always fallout." Julian didn't care. He was done thinking about the consequences. All that mattered was silence, and Lana Monroe's death would be the price.